What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Welcome to the morning bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. I'm joined alongside by Jose Bouquet for a big Tuesday show. Jose, how are you, my friend?
We're doing well, Jimmy. Shorter card actually than usual. I feel we've lost all of our sports.
Oh, we are absolutely in business because we got the World Cup breakdowns by Jose Bouquet as soon as we are done WNBA. And this is a fascinating Major League Baseball card. Like, absolutely fascinating Major League Baseball card. Johnny Bender in the house has morning cappers. Word of caution on the usage of the bullpens for St. Louis and the White Sox. They might want to limit to first five. Well, I tell you what, these St. Louis Cardinals, the market is telling us that they must be bet today. They must be bet. And I am heeding their advice. So, I'm on Mr. Leahy uncomfortably. I'm on Mr. Leahy uncomfortably, and I'm on the Cardinals. We're going to go over bullpen usage. We're going to go over all the important information here. Stacks play today in Justin McKelvey in the house. Stacks play today. Number one, Phillies Nats over 8.5, and number two, PCA over 1.5 bases. Let's get this all copied and pasted. Hope Londo had a great birthday yesterday. Our guy Londo turned 34 years of age yesterday, and hope it was a wonderful, wonderful day. This card is so interesting, man. There's so like I expect, Jose, that you're going to have multiple bets on this card. We have Sick from the Fall in the house. Colin Gregory says every game went under except one damn game yesterday. There's my guy Fireside ready to get to work. Andrew G says Giannis traded to the Heat. Oh, my God. Imagine being a Panther and Heat fan. Yeah, it's not fair. I didn't even think of that, Andrew. Well, I don't care that much about Giannis, honestly. Do you?
Well, yeah, I didn't care. I didn't know. I was back and forth on the trade for the Celtics. I was more interested in your Kachuk trade thoughts.
Oh, it's a problem for the NHL. I mean, it's a problem. Now, they are getting older. Barkov coming off of injury. I mean, Slatsy moved on the Panthers to win the Stanley Cup the day before the trade. 12-1. It's 7.5-1 now.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what it was now. That's funny.
What a move! What a move! Shout out to Slatsy. He didn't think no one was coming. There was no sources. And I agree. 12-1 for it was smart move. But with the age of their team and it went from 8.5 after the trade, then bet down to 7.5. I'm going to wait to see what sort of injuries arise. I didn't want to just run and pull the trigger on such a worse line. Maybe if I didn't know Slatsy got the 12-1, I'd be interested. But say what you want about the Kachuk brothers, but they're tough. And they go into the dirty areas. And they can score goals and they can punch you in the face. I mean, what else are you looking for a hockey player? I mean, you can say a lot of negative things about them, sure, but on the ice, they're tough. They play in the dirty areas. And they score goals. And having them both on the same team, it's going to be. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. TV Jones seem ready to go, ready to cap. This is a great card. I bet you loved it too, Trevor. Capping this card is so fascinating. I can't wait to talk about. There's certain games, certain angles that I just can't wait to talk about here. I'm really excited. Thank you guys so much for joining with us. There is the Nuke Worker. Yes, Sooners got it done. You got a lot of praise on our nightly bag last night for your call on Oklahoma plus 110 yesterday. Mark Stasowski in the house. Rube Boy ready to get to work and renewing his membership. Rube Boy. Thank you for rocking with us, man. We need to hear some Rude Boy beats, man. We need to hear some of those tracks, man. Hino Ball in the house. Mark Stasowski off a 3-1 day. Only loss was Cleveland, Chicago White Sox under 8, which stopped me from going 10-0 on my last 10 shows on Medicate Monday. And it was that air, that 3-3, the blatant air, ugly air that, oh, God. A Walla Walla Dose, light cheese in the house. Great to see you. A light cheese. We got Derek Bopp ready to get to work. We got Toucan, Kelly McInnes, Luis Antonio Chavez ready to go. And there is our guy, Nut Flush Allen. Says, good morning, boys and girls headed to Vegas from Montana. We'll hopefully have service on this trip. Our guy, Nut Flush Allen. By the way, as Father's Day was just here, with many fathers part of our community, Nutflush Allen being one of the fathers that we all the other fathers look up to. And he's in Montana, Jose, where his daughter Bailey's becoming a doctor. You know about that, right? She's becoming a full-fledged doctor, and she has a beau. There is a man who is now has fallen for Bailey. Which means he must be.
I didn't know what that meant for. It's like a bow. I was like, well, okay, I got you. Sure.
Yeah, maybe.
You have a way with English that I don't.
It's okay. We can continue rolling here. Okay. But he must be a very intelligent man, eh? To fall in love with young Bailey. Must be a very smart man, and must be a very accountable man as well, because he knows how many people care about Bailey, how many people love Bailey. And some of us that love Bailey, not me necessarily, are very tough brutes.
Sure.
That look after Bailey. It's like as if Bailey has security guards basically in the low bag community. So I imagine not only is he very intelligent, but he's also going to be an incredible partner and look after and love unconditionally and cherish Bailey. So congratulations on the two of you guys finding each other, and love to both of you. I know he's leaving Montana. He's going to miss Bailey very, very much. We have Mark A in the house. TJ says Panthers are Team USA. That's not good. Salty Goat, D-Trip, Martez, Denny in the house. Okay, I love this card. Let's get to work. There's my guy Josh Witt in the house. Josh, it is great to see you. We have TJ, there's a few spots here that I know you're just going to devour. And one is the first three total in the Jays-Astros game. And I can't wait to talk about it because it's insanely juiced to the over. And Josh Witt says, thought I would stop by before I went to work. Have a great day at work here. And your mailman, Beth, says, good morning, you beautiful people. Your mailman, let's get this money. Jose, let's attack this card with great vigor, determination, and skill. Let's roll.
Let's roll indeed to the Jays game versus the Astros. And we talk about the Jays a lot, but we don't get to talk about Shane Bieber all that often here, which is going to be a fun sight to see in the 6th. So that'll be fun. We got him back here in our lives, returning from an elbow. I forgot what surgery it was because, typically nowadays it could be the, thoracic outlet. It could be all these things. But he's back with an elbow, 6-day IL. His last start not being a great one, but we'll see how he fares because the rest of his starts was a good one in in the minor leagues, I should say. 5 appearances down there, 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks. Didn't have it that day, but he has 14 strikeouts to 5 walks overall. 4-1, 3-0, 2-0, and 3-0 in his appearances. Runs and hits wise, it has not been clean. His last AAA start before that good one, or that bad one, I should say, was a good one, 5 shutout innings. But otherwise, it's not been good. But I generally trust Shane Bieber. Again, I care about strikeouts and walks more than I do the hits and runs in these rehab appearances. Pete Lambert, on the other side, you guys see him on the screen here in his last few appearances. He's been doing well. I saw some people betting on the Astros to come back and win this division, which I thought was interesting, but I don't believe. I think that's just predicated on them trying to win. So I don't hate the bet just based off that. Bullpen-wise, both are going pretty well here, but let's check out what the market is having to say here right now. We have 67% of the bets and 65% of the money on Toronto and Shane Bieber, but the line has gone down from -136 to -127.
This is such a fascinating game. Troy's been hammering home these zags after the zigs from the rehab starts. If a star player is getting, lit up like your Savage was, and then they come and shove, and if a pitcher is perfect like Savali was, 4 1/3 perfect innings, and then he gets destroyed immediately when he gets back into the big leagues. I'm not down on Bieber here today, and I think it's fair to say that Lambert's been unbelievable. There would be some concern with the way the Jays are hitting righties if you were looking at unders. 277, 789 OPS over the last 30 days. But this is the issue here. And I was interested in unders. I think Lambert has been very, very good. I mean, we all have. That last start against Tigers was a thing of beauty. 1 earned run over 7 innings. I mean, last 4 starts, he's allowed 6 earned runs. He's just pitching very, very well. And then he had an issue with walks there for about 3 or 4 starts there, and they talked to him about it. He didn't walk a batter over his last 2 starts. He's been pitching very, very well. TJ says Lambert vulnerable versus lefties. Lucas, Varsho, Sanchez, Jimenez don't strike a ton of fear. It's the righties in the Jays lineup that he's worried about, and Lambert shuts them down. I think that the idea of backing the Astros first 5 is fine. What I wanted to discuss here more was the total on the first 3. So this full game total is 8.5 to the over. Or sorry, minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under at 8.5. So we have the exact same line with Kirby and Keller at Bet365. Minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under. Luzardo and Littell are 5 cents more expensive, minus 120 to the over. So we have comparisons here. The Rodriguez Leahy, it's 8.5 at a pick'em. So we have a whole bunch of comparisons here. And Savali and Ray are the exact same as well. So we have 3 games that are the exact same total line. Why don't we just use those? The 3 games that are the exact same total line. Minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under. So we go into the first 3 innings here for Astros, Blue Jays. And this first 3, wow. Okay. Wow, a 20-cent move to the under in the last 20 minutes. Huh. Wow. I think those cappers betting the first 3 under might be in danger. Because this was minus 140 to the over 20 minutes ago and plus 100 to the under. And they would think maybe they have an advantage here. I get scared off by those lines, but it's moved back to a minus 120. Well, that is fascinating. It takes a little bit of the thunder away from my breakdown. Let's take a look at the Mariners-Pirates first 3. That is, wow. So that's now gone towards the over. That's minus 125 to the over. That is fascinating. A 20-cent move to the first 3 under, which does take a lot of the thunder away. Look, I stare at these first 3 lines nonstop. I look at them nonstop, and the fact that that was so juiced to the over will scare me. And scare me off of the spot. Justin McKelvey on Altuve over 1.5 bases. Trevor saying today's the Astros day. Land of the Trees says Astros really aren't that good with road games, 17 and 21. They're better on the road, arguably, than they are at home. I know that home's slightly better record, but it shouldn't be. But that's fine. Astros really aren't that good with road games, and I trust Blue Jays in later innings. Not a play with him because played Blue Jays last night. Don't think he will bet them again, though. And TB Jones says over 2 gas cans, and he got the over 7.5 minus 125. Now, Lambert certainly was a gas can, but 3.23 ERA, 1.11 whip is very impressive. And, Shane Bieber, obviously, I'm high on him. The great Shane Bieber, but we've seen 52 and a third innings of him in the regular season since 2023. Wow, I'm astonished that this moved back towards the under. Astonished. So can you imagine, Jose, the first 3 moves 20 cents to the under and the full game doesn't move a cent. But now it's minus 120 each way. Toby Lane says not an MLB guy, but the Astros do sound appealing here. Well, I'm going to have to sit with this market move. I thought that with this, Jose, that you would then be on the first 5 over or the Yurfee.
That's what I was quietly just waiting to say that I was going to be on the Yurfee.
But now with that 20-cent move back, what do you make of it? Does that not?
It definitely worries me a little bit, but I'm going to keep betting these. They lose. We're dedicating this bet to science, Jimmy. We're dedicating this bet to science to see just what happens if we keep betting these interesting first 3 totals, all that stuff.
Oh, sorry. By the way, TV Jones was talking about the Mariners game, the over 7.5 Mariners game. Okay, thank you for clarifying that here. Sorry, keep rolling, Jose.
No, that's it. I'm on the Yurfee here. I can't. I've got to find it, I guess. But it's minus 124 for the Yurfee. Jesus. I hate betting juiced Yurfees because Obviously, in my head, 6 outs to get 1 run is a little, it feels difficult. But it's the highest scoring inning. It's just bullshit you make up in your own head, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm on the juiced year for. I think it's the juiciest one I've bet so far in this process.
Astros plus 115 at Pinnacle, full game plus 107 first 5. That doesn't really tell too much of a story because there's more vig on the first 5. So it's minus 125 for the Jays full game, minus 122 first 5. Shout out to Dwayne Saminsky. Thank you, my friend. The hot streak has curtailed 4 and 5 yesterday. So it ended on Friday. So I got to get back to business here. And I get what TJ's saying. When Circa moves this much, he says you pay attention. Toronto opened minus 143, now minus 125 with more bets and money on Toronto. I guess. Oh, and Andrew G says, do you have the balls to bet on Bieber's first start in 2 years? That's not the case at all, I mean, we, in the regular season, we've only seen 52 in the third innings. But last year, he threw 40 innings in the regular season, and then we counted on him in the playoffs. So he has pitched. I thought that this market was going to land me on the first 5 over. By the way, the roof is open. It was open last night, like I told you guys it would be, even though all the sites said it was going to be closed. A Ballpark Pal has the Rogers Center today wind blowing in, plus 2% runs, plus 6% homers, plus 2% doubles and triples, minus 1% singles. Look, I'm going to have to sit on this game longer. Longer here. Turnbuckle Tommy on Astros, double up, first 5 in full game. I guess, you know what? I don't want to... my initial thought was first 3 under and full game under. The market got me off of it, and I'm not going to let the market get me back onto it. But I think that Lambert has been very good. I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind that Lambert has been very good. And what the hell is Bieber going to do here? I mean, it's harder to pitch to the Jays than it is to the Astros right now. And both bullpens have been really good, especially the Astros bullpen. TJ's also doubling down here on the Astros. Well, I'm going to let this game marinate. But one thing that I do want to mention, TJ, and I think that we should keep an eye on it, is that the Sharps fade pitchers first start off the IL. Always. Doesn't it feel like you, TJ, that the market moves towards the opposition every single time a pitcher is starting off of the IL, especially if that's their first start of the year off the IL? I mean, we're talking every single time. It's not like they pick their spots. So, but I'm going to take a long look at the Astros. Sorry that game took so long to attack. A big brick in the house says go Cards. I think the Cards are must bet. TJ says more bets, more cash on Toronto right now. Yeah, that's certainly the situation right now. 67% of the tickets, 65% of the cash. Judging from the market alone, of course, Astros would be the look. But, Bieber gets destroyed in these rehab starts. Now, it's only 17 innings of rehab starts, but he gets annihilated, almost a 2 whip. So if you're trusting those numbers, then it'd be pretty easy to fade him here. It's a fascinating game. I don't think you guys are wrong about the Astros. Now I'm going to put some more time into it after the show. And we have a year fee here from Mr. Bouquet. Let's roll on. By the way, Rod's Wax says bet under the total and Shane Bieber starts against AL West opponents on this record in his career, 18-3. And let's roll, Jose.
Royals.
Can you believe? Sorry, that the unders went 11-1 yesterday, Jose, and the one under that lost was for me to go 10-0 and lost in extras.
Yeah, it's pretty classic, huh? Well, obviously, though, everyone's going to be betting overs today too, so I'll be fascinated to see how the overs do today as well. But let's talk about the Royals versus the Rays here. Royals starting to get a little movement. Well, mostly Jack Caglione is starting to get some movement here. Versus Shane McClanahan. 10-cent move at Bet Online towards Luinder Avila, minus 190 and minus 180 here. Right now, it's 86% of the bets and 94% of the money on the Rays here, which is not the most surprising thing ever with these pitchers going up against each other. But I will probably not be moving on this game, Jimmy. If anything, maybe a Rays run line just to feel good about McClanahan, who's been solid, and if you look at his home road splits, it definitely tells a story, but it's not going to be anything for me. And he's coming off of 3 straight road starts, it looks like. So, no thanks. I would rather just back that than fade that.
I am higher than maybe I should be, and clearly higher than everybody else on Luinder Avila. When I told you guys how high on Luinder Avila I was, he allowed 8 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. It made me look like a schmuck. And he bounced back beautifully against the Nationals. Look, Shane McClanahan is not a pitcher that I want to fade at all. He's been very good. 3.33 ERA, 1.23 whip. He's got a 3.92 expected ERA. Speaking of, pitchers we hadn't seen. Now, we actually hadn't seen McClanahan with a start since 2023, unlike Bieber, who we did get to see last year. And look, has McClanahan looked somewhat vulnerable the last few starts? He has. And 4 of the last 3 starts and 4 of his last 6. Can we blame that on arm fatigue? Yes. This guy hasn't pitched since 2023. I think it's pretty clear that he's dealing with some arm fatigue. Even so, I'm very, very hesitant to fade him. Now, we know that the Royals have been, offensive and hitting for a while. It's a surprise here, being rolling here. Turnbuckle Tommy, I don't think that got to be concerned about the movement here. I think that, we talked about that Dodgers-Minnesota spot. I've been trying to really hammer this home to everybody, that if we do this full time, we're going to see the public spot before the public. You're going to see the public spot the day before the public. That was the clear, like as soon as that jumped off the page, the over. And I think you need to be very weary of and very, cautious by that first spot that jumps off the page to you, because it's going to jump off the page to everybody. And the books know that. And the books know that if they move in that direction, then the steam chasers will follow and everybody will follow. I think that's more of the issue here personally. But I have moved and bet last night. So this is kind of a tiny fade of McClanahan, but more it's believing in Luinder Avila. I moved on the Kansas City Royals first 3 plus a half. And it's expensive. It was minus 135. But I need 9 outs from Avila. And I need, would it be a surprise if the Royals get to McClanahan with the way they're raking lefties right now? No, I don't think it would be a big surprise. Yeah, Turnbuckle Tommy, but again, let me just go back to it. So this is something that we've been talking about a lot. And 3 years ago, I was beating totals in the NHL by 80 cents and I did negative ROI on it. When I sat with it for longer, it was just because I was seeing the public play before the public. So I just think that because you do this full time, it's something to be aware of. Very, very reticent of that you are going to see the public play before the public has seen it. And it's just, something to be cautious about. And it's something we've been talking about a lot over the last few years. And I started succeeding in baseball when that first look that jumped off the page, I put a line through it. So just something that we're all trying to get better. We're all trying to get better. And but again, I had to figure out how the hell my CLV was out of control on NHL totals and I did negative ROI. It just didn't make sense until I realized, oh, I get it now. I'm seeing the public play 12 hours, 18 hours before the public sees it. So who cares about CLV at that point? I'm falling for this trap kind of a thing. But first 3 plus a half of minus 135. Very interested to hear what TJ's action is if that follows suit. Rod Zawacki's on the Royals first 3 money line. But for me, it's a simple spot backing these Royals bats first lefties. And I believe in Luinder Avila when others don't. 5.50 ERA, 1.65 whip. It's got a 4.37 expected ERA. If you put a line through the 8 earned runs over 2 2/3 of an inning, he'd have phenomenal numbers. So, TJ says, what should the first 3 under be? I think that's what I mean. First 3 under be on a juiced 8 here. Well, we can. It's a perfect situation here because it's so similar. It's 5 cents off of that Astros Blue Jays that was heavily juiced to the over, which was shocking to me and came back 20 cents. So we can see this right now. And I know we're taking too long in these first few games. We'll speed up now. But when we go to the first 3 under here, it is minus 125 to the under, which is the exact same as that. Was it the Kirby Keller spot? Kirby Keller is the exact same line as Kirby Keller. And you just heard, Trevor talk about how those are 2 gas cans on the mound. These are not gas cans in my estimation. I also, think that Kirby and Keller are certainly pitching like gas cans over the last 5 starts. But let's roll on. First 3 plus a half for me. It's quite simple. Looking at that full game under, I get why you have interest in it. And I'm going to keep it clean. I really like the bet for Avila to get me 9 outs. 86% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on the Rays. I mean, and then when we go to the price difference for first 5 in full game here in that Royals spot, the Royals are plus 167 full game. First 5, they're plus 150. So 17-cent difference in price. And, I like it quite a bit. And then the under 8 here, minus 111. I can understand. I can see why you like that under. That's interesting. It's the problem is I really, really like that first 3 plus a half, and I bet a unit and a half on it. But I think those unders are interesting, and I will take a look. I'll take a look. What do you think about the under in Avila versus McClanahan, Jose?
I would rather be on that than the over. I'll tell you that.
Huh. And
not confident, but I'd rather be on the under. Yeah.
Okay. Talk Sports with JT in the house. Let's roll on. Speaking of Talk Sports with JT, let's let him lead us into the Yankees Tigers. He talked about leaning to the first 5 over 4, which I think that if you just study the numbers alone, I think you can get there. The problem is the vividness bias of Rodon and my favorite pitcher, arguably in the league, Casey Mize. But interesting spot here. By the way, Rod Wax has been under the total in Tampa Bay home games after 3 or more consecutive unders on his record during the 2026 season, 8-1. Jose, take it away. Yankees, Tigers. This is a great cap, fun cap. Take it away.
Rodon versus Mize here, and I'm a little surprised at how cheap it is for the Yankees, but minus 105 each way here, minus 106 at Bet Online right now. Bovada has minus 115. This did get up to minus 113 Yankees at Bet Online. It has come right back down, and it went up to Detroit minus 108, and that came right back down to minus 105. 79% of the bets, 64% of the money on the Yankees here as well. 58 and 76 on the over as well for those interested here. I will admit 2 pitchers that I'm not a big fan of. I know you're a big Casey Mize guy. I don't like Rodon. So I found this game to be a pretty easy stay off. Mize's second start off the IL now. So that'll be a fascinating spot to see how he does here. And Rodon, I mean, I don't know. You look at the home road splits again on the screen. You got and same thing for Casey Mize. 1-2-7. 2-8-1 for Rodon at home, and 4 is on the road. So I stay off this game, but I want to hear Jimmy the Bag talk about Casey Mize, or as TJ will call him, Jimmy Mize the Bag.
Well, first off, let's take a look at the bullpen. Vest can't go today. Drew Summers can't go today. So you have Holton, you have Anderson, who pitched 19 yesterday, but should be fine. Finnegan didn't pitch yesterday. And then Kenley Jansen now has had 2 days off. That's for the Tigers. For the Yankees, Blackburn can't go today, but everyone else, except for Yarbrough, which is fine, should be able to go here. Look, I think that if I could have the balls to bet this first 5 over, I imagine that I would get rewarded. The full game over 7 at minus 120 is moved to 7.5. It moved immediately 10 minutes in, 10 cents towards the over, and then another 10 cents. When we go to the weather here for this spot at Comerica, we have minus 7% runs, minus 16% homers, even doubles and triples, and plus 3% singles. And the issue is Casey Mize. That's the issue to me. And he goes out. He starts the year with a good start and then gets hit up by the Twins. It was a surprise. And then it was 4 straight just dominant starts. I mean, he looked so good. And then he lands on the IL with the right adductor strain. He says he's fine. He doesn't need a rehab start. Number 1 overall pick, can do whatever he wants. They don't give him a rehab start. And then he has 3 great starts. But in that third start, the adductor bothered him again. And he got pulled off of it. So now you've been on the IL twice for the same injury. Clearly, something is not right. You're not 100%. This time they make him go on a rehab start, single A Lakeland. And then he doesn't look good in that first start back. I just can't. He's just certainly not in rhythm, in form. He's just not. Look, I do think he's so talented that he can withstand that. And then we have Carlos Rodon. The last 2 starts at the Guardians. That was already. I think Ramirez hadn't got hurt yet. And then on 17th at home versus the White Sox, 3 earned runs over 5 innings. He allowed 6 earned runs over his last 11 innings. He had 3 straight starts where he'd only allowed 1 earned run. But he doesn't look quite so dominant. The Tigers are getting healthy again. So Rod Zwaggy says, bet under the total in Yankees game after scoring 3 runs or less, 2 straight games on this record during the 2026 season, 11-2. Warbuck says Mize is the lefty killer. And TJ agreeing, saying it is an advantage versus this lineup. New York's been hitting righties, but not guys with reverse splits. Maybe I just let this go. But that first 5 over 4 has been staring at me. There's no chance I would be on an under right now, with some concern that Rodon, who started the year late, could be dealing with some arm fatigue before the All-Star break, and Casey Mize with back-to-back trips to the IL with the adductor. So I guess there's nothing for me, and I don't know if the market is pushing us in any direction here. Now, 79% of the tickets, 64% of the cash on the Yankees would lead you to the Tigers. Look, the Tigers was an easy bet for me yesterday. It was easy. The public was all over the Yankees. The line was moving towards Framber Valdez. I mean, that was very easy.
It was nice to see Fat Ass get touched up too.
Yeah, it was just to sit back and cash very easily.
Did you see how bulbous his lips were last night? God,
no,
he was busting out of his pants. It was just disgusting.
D trip on the Tigers first 5. I am going to be off of this spot at this point, but I have some interest in that first 5 over, and I think that's just where I'll let this close here. So let's roll on. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. This is, I think, must bet material, and I might double down on it. So let's roll on to Mariners Pirates.
George Kirby versus Mitch Keller on the bump here. And what a line move have we had in this game. Minus 105 openers at Bet Online is now minus 124 for your Seattle Mariners here. Just to check another place, Heritage has minus 130. They opened up at minus 119. Seattle and Bovada here opened up minus 121. They're at minus 128 here. So big moves in the Mariners' direction here. Movement that is with 68% of the bets on them here, but 64% of the money is on the Pittsburgh Pirates and Mitch Keller here. What do you make of these moves, Jimmy?
Well, if you were just studying the market analysis, you would run to bet the Mariners. I should answer this here to Turnbuckle Tommy very quickly. He says, so that first play that jumps out at you, would it be worth waiting, let the line move, and then fade that initial play? If I was a better capper, yes. I find it very difficult to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this, because I just completely stay away because I'm not as good as I want to be. If I was a better capper, I would see that first play that jumps out at me, realize the whole public's going to see it too. Wait till it moves heavily in that direction and bet against it. And hopefully Sunday you start seeing me do that. Tommy, but it's very difficult here. Thomas Maggio says, I agree with TV Jones over 8.5. Well, this would be that spot, right? Wouldn't you guys say if you looked at the card? Looked at what these pitchers have done the last 5 games, wouldn't this be the one spot that jumps out at you that will jump out at everybody to bet the over? I think it's fair to say that would be the spot. We've had a big move towards the over, 35 cents towards the over 8.5. Talk Sports with JT also liking the Pirates. I mean, this is a line move that it's very, very difficult to ignore. 19-cent move towards the Mariners from minus 105 to minus 124. This opened up as a pick'em, and now the Pirates are plus 113. That is a big move. And then from a total standpoint, we went over that 35-cent move to the over, which we could have predicted easily. Mark Sasowski said, why did Seattle open minus 110? Made no sense to me last night. It makes perfect sense to me, Mark, and I could touch on this here. The Mariners are 2 games under 500 on the road. The Pirates are 1 game over 500 at home. So we can just start there that there's no, this should be at a pick'em. You have Kirby, who in his last 6 starts has allowed 23 earned runs. And you have Mitch Keller in his last 6 starts has allowed 24 earned runs. I mean, doesn't this just feel kind of like a wash here? And TJ says, why would you take full game over instead of first 5? Both pens are rested. Yeah, this is a first 5 bet to me. What they are telling us is that what's going on with Mitch Keller is real. And that Kirby is a quality pitcher. And if you look at these last 2 starts by Kirby, we've been talking nonstop about how the Orioles are ripping the leather off the ball. He just faced the Orioles in back-to-back starts. And what did he do? Back-to-back quality starts. Yeah, Turnbuckle, Tommy, this is I look forward, Tommy, to continuing this conversation and hear, how this works for you, because this is something I started my last year in Parkdale. And it was something that I talked at length with Jose and TJ about putting a line through the first thing that jumps out at me. When we go to the price difference for first 5 and full game here, we have for the Mariners, it's a really nice difference. We have the minus 125, minus 121 full. Oh, it's now just minus 123. It's come back a little bit. But I think that there's an advantage with Kirby over Mitch Keller. Jay Peasy in the house. Oh, what a sight for sore eyes, our guy Jay Peasy running with us. And if anybody wanted to be talked off of the over, which, I would say that these are the 2 reasons to get talked off the over. Now, look, this has 54% of the tickets on the under, which is a shock to me. But if you wanted to be talked off, you would say, look, Mitch Keller should bounce back here at home. He just pitched in Sacramento. The last time he was at home, he was against the Dodgers. The Mariners lineup is certainly not that, And the last time he was at home before that was the Twins, And then here, and Mark Sasowski liking the under. Then you could say that what Kirby just went through with back-to-back starts against the Orioles, he should be able to, get to this Pirates lineup. Now the Pirates lineup is hitting hard, 261, 795 OPS. When it's all said and done, for me, I think that this could require a bet on the full game as well. With just this massive movement. Now, 63% of the cash is on the Pirates, and this line's moving towards the Mariners. So it's a first 5 bet for me right now. And the question is, do I add a full game to it? I think the Mariners should be bet. And that first 5, I got minus 122. I wasn't beating any lines. At that time, it was quite a bit different than the full game, which makes me a little nervous. But Mark Sasky says, no Cruz or Griffin. This line should have opened minus 130 Seattle. If it opened up minus 130 Seattle, I would have immediately bet the Pirates. It's something to think about, though, for sure. I'll copy and paste it. But I'm on the Mariners first 5. I don't think with a team that's 2 games under 500 on the road against a team that's over 500 at home that, that the pick'em is a surprise. I thought it's where it should open up. But I hear what you're saying. Jose, any interest for you in this one?
No, I'll stay off this game, and I won't be the steam chaser today. So no thanks. And I definitely thought that the -110 opener was fair because of Kirby being pretty bad recently. So,
But again, that's back-to-back quality starts against the Orioles. One in Baltimore, one at home. Like but yeah, he's not being. I just think there's different ways of looking at those last two starts. I think you could say, well, he just had two great starts. I think it'd be fair to say that. Now, great's a little much, but okay, two straight quality starts. I mean, I shout out to Isaiah Scurry in the house. Isaiah, let's get this cash. So I'm questioning whether I should add the Mariners full game. So let's roll on.
All right,
I'm on the first five already. I think the first five Mariners is arguably maybe the best bet on the board. That's how much I like it.
Sure. And what was the price difference between first five and full game again?
Small. It was much bigger when I bet it last night. I didn't double check it this morning. The Mariners are -121 full game. The first five, they're -123. That's a pretty big favorite for a team 2 games under 500, with a pitcher who's been, arguably struggling. Road favorite's pretty big, but let's roll.
Rangers, Rangers Marlins here. We've got Cal Quantrill versus Sandy Alcantara here, and Cal Quantrill pitching in the year of our Lord 2026 is always a sight to see here. Intentionally hit a Red Sox player the other day, so he's still a prick as well.
Perfect.
Yes. By the way, the Scots are down in Miami right now, so the Scots are giving that good atmosphere that the Red Sox had to the Marlins. So shout out to them as well. It was fun to watch those guys get after it, and the atmosphere they bring to the stadiums is very fun as well. So I'm sure this Marlins team needs it. We have right now, let's check out the market, 82% of the bets and 94% of the money. Everyone fading Cal Quantrill today, saying, fuck that guy. -148 is now -152 at Bet Online. So really not much movement there. -155 to -162 at Bovada. So don't love that this line hasn't moved much. Maybe Cal Quantrill does something good today, but I won't be there to find out. I'll tell you that. So no action for me early here. Jim, what do you think?
Well, a 5-cent move to the under. Don't forget, this is Cal Quantrill's home park, man. He's pitched most of his career in here. So he's going to be very comfortable in Miami. He's also pitching to have a chance to be part of this rotation as they move forward. This is a huge opportunity for Port Dopes, Cal Quantrill. Obviously, TJ knew I was going to romanticize the situation for Cal Quantrill. I'm sure he's laughing right now. Look, Cal Quantrill has been good this year. 3.68 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. The problem is he can't get strikeouts and he walks too many batters. Look, that's a problem. That's a problem when you're coming out of the bullpen. If you can get soft contact, it's not that big of a problem as a starting pitcher. And Alcantara has been very, very good. Very, very, very good. So, with that being said, Cal Quantrill coming back to the park that he's most comfortable in. Cal Quantrill pitching for a chance to be part of this rotation. Is this the last opportunity that Port Dopes Cal Quantrill is going to get? Probably not, but it's certainly a blatant opportunity for his first start of the year. And Alcantara has been pitching so well. This line's moving towards the under, and I think that we should roll with it. Now, I wanted to talk this one out because, 58% of tickets are on the under and 95% of cash is on the under, so you would want this under to be moving. Would you say that it's moving enough? I mean, it's moved 5 cents at circa. Is that enough? How much money is actually on this Texas-Miami game? Is it? I mean, we would be surprised if it was the highest bet game on the board. Rod Zweig says, bet against Sandy Alcantara and home starts on the money line when playing on Tuesday. Tuesday. Shout out to Jose Perez in the house. So with all of this being said, I think we should expect Cal to pitch good enough, Sandy to continue his strong form. He's been really good of late. He had that hiccup at the end of May where we were like, what's wrong with him? And then he's had 4 straight quality starts. So yes, I want the under. So let's just take a look and see what the price is here on that first 3 under. So this is 5 cents more expensive than the Avila McClanahan. It's 15 cents more expensive than the Astros, Jays, and the Mariners Pirates. So we saw that Mariners Pirates was what, minus 125 to the over. So this should be at a minimum minus 125 to the under. If it's minus 120 to the under, that's fine. But if it should be at a minimum, let's say minimum minus 120. If it's minus 130 or minus 135 to the under, and I haven't looked, then I think that should be bet. So let's just take a look at this. First 3 under is a pick 'em minus 120 each way. I guess pick your poison here. So there's our guy Robert. So let me just finish before I have real interest in the unders here. So let's just take a quick look at the bullpen usage, if there should be any concern here for these Marlins or Rangers. So let's start with the Rangers. Rangers don't have anybody that's unable to go. So that is a good sign for them. Chapman did. Oh, sorry, that's the Red Sox. Jesus, sorry. Where's the Rangers? Sorry. Yes, Junis can't go, but I don't trust him at all. Alstrom can't go, which is too bad. So that's a bit of a problem there. And then the Marlins here, Fauché can't go. That's a problem. He's excellent. Peterson can't go. They have a pretty deep bullpen, though. So, yeah, I'm very, very interested in unders. Dav Fenn gave 1 play yesterday. Padres has 1 play today. Marlins first 5. Philly Eagle Flyers on the under and the Tide after 2 innings. Warbucks is on Miami money line. I'm very, very interested in unders, and I expect to get there. I'm going to study them more after the show. I wanted to talk them out, but and let this market marinate. So much money on the under at this point. So we'll see if it moves a little bit further here. We'll see if it moves a little bit further. And shout out to Robert Cherry. Says, my mom asked, when is the crew ever going to do anything on the East Coast? You know what? I would love that. And he says, love when she gets see that she's curious. We'd love that. We've talked about it. We have a cup of coffee fund still with the few $1,000s for an Eastern trip. And I think it's time. Yeah, I agree. I think it's time. I think we talk to Jeff and see if we can put something together. So I'll copy and paste that, Robert, my man. And love to the Cherry family. I know it's a tough week here, as the service for his sister is on the 25th. Is it 25th or 26th? I can't remember if it's 25th. I think it's 25th. So our thoughts are with you, Robert. So a ton of love to you and sending strength and love. And I know it's going to be a tough week for you guys, as you guys are so close. So, just thinking about you, and just sometimes you just got to put your head down and lead your family through a tough time. And I know you do that really, really well. So our thoughts are with you, Robert, my man. And Mark Stats, he could make the East trip. And Truth Teller says, coming back $1 at a time. I'd love to hear that. There's my man Markel in the house. So let's roll. And early unders seem to play if you are on unders, says Mark Stasowski. So let's roll, Jose. Let's roll, my man.
Nationals Phillies next game on the board here. We have Jesus Luzardo versus Zach Littell. I saw someone asking about a pitching change in Washington. Jimmy, did you have Zach Littell last night?
Yeah, I had Zach Littell last night. Why is it? Oh, it's because there's an opener for Littell. It's Poulin. Patrick Poulin will be opening for Littell.
All right, well, there we go. That answers that question for us there, but it will still be Zach Littell as the primary here against
your mic's cutting in
Luzardo.
and out a little bit. You might want to do a quick plug in and plug out here. Get that mic back in service. Let's hear. Okay. Gonna wipe it on his crotch there for good luck. Now we can't hear anything.
All right.
Oh,
We'll finish this breakdown with my AirPods here real quick.
okay.
But market in this game, we have the Phillies. Where are you, the Phillies? And it was a good luck crotch wipe, Jimmy. You called that one spot on. 86% of the bets, 79% of the money on the Phillies here. 50-50 basically on the total. 54 on tickets on the under, 52 of the money on the over here. What'd you think?
I think a lot about this game, but Jose, I'm going to switch this over to our media asset, so it might change everything here. So you might have to fix it here in 1 second. Okay, we don't have to change anything. Oh, yes. Okay, there we go. We're beautiful. Okay, shout out to Justin McKelvey. Stacks play of the day is here, and it's on the full game over with Luzardo and Littell. Patrick Poulin opening the Stacks play of the day number 1, full game over. And shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
So I moved on the first 5 over 4.5. You know, I thought that this line would maybe move with me. And when I woke up this morning, it hadn't moved a cent. And it still hasn't moved a cent, which is a somewhat of a concern here. Also, with Poulin starting, does change a little bit of that. I don't have to. I'd have to look up and see where I bet it. But if I did put it in with the local, I don't need to. If there's an opener added, we've left that. It's only if there's a full pitching change. If the pitcher who was listed doesn't pitch at all, that the games are voided, which is thankful. It's just been such a pain. Back to business here. I think the elephant in the room in this game is what the Nats are doing to lefties. 289, 831 OPS. They're absolutely raking lefties, which in turn I think should probably make Luzardo somewhat vulnerable. If we look at what Luzardo has done on the road of late, he's been really good, but the Marlins and the Jays aren't hitting lefties. When he faced the White Sox at home, they got him for 5 earned runs over 6 innings, and the Nats are hitting lefties much harder. So what I wanted was to add the first 5 plus a half with the Nationals. But of course, with Littell on the bump, I was very nervous to do that. There was a 17-cent price difference last night. The lines moved towards Luzardo in the morning, which we will go over. JPZ says Philly smashed the ball at home. On the road, not so much. Rod's Wax says bet on Don Mattingly on the money line as a favorite of -150 or more. Mattingly's record as manager of the Phillies, 18-2. So I'm on the over. Let's just take a look at the price difference. And if we can trust Zach Littell, because I understand 5.45 ERA, 1.38 whip. It's not like he's been unlucky. Expected ERA 6.65. He had a 1.10 whip over 186 and 2/3 last year, but let's just let that go. I mean, he's obviously different here. Oh, that's so funny, TJ. That's so funny because I talked about you in that breakdown. Oh, man.
He said word for word, you would have enjoyed it, TJ.
Back to business here. With that first 5 over, which is what I want, the Phillies bullpen's been quite good. Nats bullpen's been okay. But I would like to add the first 5 plus a half with the Nats. And let's just go over the price difference now because it was moving. Now, the first 5 plus a half was a minus proposition last night, and it was a plus money proposition this morning. But I think that Poulin might change that. Nats right now are plus 150 full game, and first 5 plus 149. So the first 5 plus a half is 102. So it has moved slightly towards the Phillies, but I do like it. I do think that that's the spot here for me. Kelly McInnes says Luzardo's ERA is 4.2. Oh, that's a sign to me. Is that a sign that he gets lit up? But back to business here. I'm on the first 5 over 4.5. I was hoping that this would have moved 15 or 20 cents. It makes me a little nervous that it hasn't. When we go over to Ballpark Pal for these conditions, at Nationals Park, it's not much. -4% runs, -12% homers, +1% doubles and triples, and +4% singles. I'm but yeah, I would like to add the Nats first 5 plus a half. Is that worth the risk reward? That's what I got to figure out. And I think it is. What do you think about it, Jose? Poulin, Littell back to back. If we look at Littell's last 2 starts, he's allowed 9 earned runs over 6 2/3. The last start was at home. It was a little better versus the Royals. Those 4 earned runs were 4 solo shots. That full game went under. He's a very tricky pitcher to trust here.
Yeah, I just think the Phillies are hot right now too. Phillies. I think the Phillies are turning their season around. You know, the Stars are starting to feel good about themselves. So it's a tough spot to fade the Phillies. You know, catching the falling knife and all that good stuff.
Huh. Again, I'm just talking about Luzardo and fading the lefty here. I'm very interested in the Nats first 5 plus a half to add to that first 5 over 4.5. But honestly, I thought I was going to beat this move by 15 or 20 cents. So I'm a little concerned here. And when we go to the cash flow, it's 54% tickets on the under, 52% cash on the over. So I guess I'm okay with it all. It's not like very offensive weather. I think I'm okay with it all, but I'm very interested in adding the Nats first 5 plus a half. Let me ask you this. Let's hear. Rosway says Jesus Luzardo starts when playing against the marginal winning team. Bet the over. Says the over's record since 2025, 9-1. Well, I mean, what would you do? Would you take, if you had to bet a first 5 minus half or a first 5 plus half, first 5 minus half for the Phillies, first 5 plus half for the Nats, what would you bet if I forced you to make this bet?
I mean, honestly, I think I would end up taking the Nationals just because of the market. There's a bunch of bets and money on the Phillies. Let me refresh one more time. Sorry. Just to make sure. I've got 169 as the opener. It opened up at minus 155. Yikes. I don't know. I'm back and forth here. I'm going to double check the first 5 movement. I mean, for even first 5, it's moved 20 cents. I'd probably be on the Phillies still. First 5 minus a half.
Again, but look, with the way the Nats are hitting lefties, 289, 831 OPS last 30. Do you have the graphic? I'd like to see what they're doing last 5 games.
Yes. Yeah, the Nationals against lefties here. They've been hitting them 306, but
I'm going to bet it. I think I mean, it's not like Luzardo is some monster, and he's a very emotional pitcher on the mound. 4.20 ERA, 1.31. Now he's got a 3.34 expected ERA. I'm going to add it. It's going to be sweaty, but look, what's life without sweat and action? Let's roll on to Cubbies Mets.
What's life without sweating action? Cubbies Mets here. The battle of 2 extremely disappointing teams with 2 extremely disappointing pitchers. Edward Cabrera versus Mr. Kodai Senga here. I mean, look, I don't know what to make of either of these teams this year. I was a big Cubs guy going into this. I wonder what our boy Troy Torrance's father thinks. But the line moves allegedly in this game, minus 142 opener, was a minus 137 last night at 5
That's because
o'clock.
we had Nolan McLean listed for a while. So I don't know when the rain out happened yesterday. I don't know when.
I would guess around 10:30.
Okay, because I thought Nolan McLean was pitching, so I put that opening line with Nolan McLean personally. But again,
yeah, no, I mean that makes sense because I'm around 10:30. It drops to minus 115, goes to minus 113. So that's got to be when the books realized Kodai Senga was going to take the start today. Minus 120 at Bet Online. That's where it opened up at. And that's where it's at now. Excuse me, that was at Bovada. But Bet Online opens these books or lines earlier, and we all know that. So I'm assuming that's when the change was made, or at least when the books do the change.
And how big
was
was the difference? Can you hit me with that again?
Minus 140 to minus 115. So
Okay.
Big difference there. And market in this game, 68% of the bets on the Cubs, but 55% of the money on the Mets. 75 and 88 on the over in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why we don't trust Cabrera over Senga. We've seen a 40-cent move to the over. Now that's also predicated with, thinking that Nolan McLean was going to start. And then, the Cubbies down to plus 103. Again, like Jose is saying, let's say that this has gone from plus 104 to plus 103. Let's not take a big move here, but let's talk about Cabrera, because we none of us trust Senga, and there's no reason why we should. Now, you could want to back him at home, but we have no proof in that. I mean, we'd have to go back to 2025 here because I mean, he's only had 96 batters this year. I mean, there's no sample size. Last year he was better on the road than he was at home. Last year he was really good. Is there a chance that he can find that again? Cabrera is the missing piece here. So he went with the blister. He went on the IL, and then he'd been kind of overthinking everything. He just didn't look right on the mound. He comes off the IL. His velocity is higher than it's ever been, and he gets lit up for 8 earned runs in 3 2/3. Next start was okay at the Rockies. Faces the Rockies in back-to-back starts. Look, I don't think either. I think I should just stay off the game because honestly, how I feel about this is that I don't trust either pitcher, but I also wouldn't be shocked if Senga pitches better or if Cabrera pitches better. And we shouldn't put anything into this line. This is just, it was Cabrera versus McLean, and now it's Cabrera versus Senga. I think there's volatility in this game, but in both directions, up and down. So I thought that I was going to talk myself into Cabrera, but I don't know how I can do that. He just seems shook. So I'm going to stay off this game. I thought I would find a way on it. Let's talk about TV Jones, Milwaukee Brewers.
Let's talk about them here. We've got the Brewers versus the Reds. Shout out to Jake Bowers, an interview that we just recently did. Was a cool dude. And a fun fact about him, the reason he's still playing baseball, almost retired twice, Jimmy. But then he had a kid and needed the health insurance. So he stayed playing, and now he's having a breakout season in Major League Baseball. So shout out to Jake Bowers. Very cool.
What a cheapskate
Story there. We've got Brewers versus the Reds here. Nick Lodolo versus Brandon Sproat here. We have 74% of the bets on the Milwaukee Brewers and 51% of the money on the Reds here. So pretty split. 62% of the bets on the Reds, 90% on the over, 90% of the money on the over there as well. So a lot of people betting the over. This line was minus 110 Brewers for a little bit, and now it is minus 107 Reds here. So dog the favorite flip, but it even got up as high as to minus 118 Brewers, and it's come back down to minus 107 Reds here. That is at Bet Online there. At Heritage, we have minus 113, minus 107, minus 113 Brewers, minus 107 Reds. It was minus 120 Brewers. So the line definitely moving towards the Reds in this situation. And again, that is 74% of the bets on the Brewers, but only 51% of the money on the Reds here. So some big bets on the Reds, it seems. What do you think?
Honestly, I don't know what to think. I've backed Brandon Sproat. I've supported him. I believed in him, and it's just costing me money. And I don't. How much longer am I supposed to sit here and tell you that Brandon Sproat is? I believe in him long term, but fucking money talks, man. You're gonna keep fucking and when it was 5-0 in that last game, I was like, this is perfect for Sproat. He's got a 5-run lead. Just relax out there, do your thing, and he allows a grand slam immediately. Yeah, Marque De La Cruz is back. So I don't know what to do with Sproat, but I don't want to turn completely switch and start fading him, because I was extremely impressed with that start in Summerlin, and I thought he was going to move in the right direction. But that was a Guardians lineup without Ramirez. Schneemann hit the salami against him. And then Lodolo here has just been terrible. I mean, it's been horrible. He just faces the Mets, who aren't hitting lefties, gets lit up for 11 hits and 7 earned runs. And now he is going to go up against a team that is 297, 799 OPS versus lefties. Look at what they've done in the last 10 games versus lefties. I mean, Rodswag says, bet under the total in Cincinnati home games off a 1-run loss versus division rival. Under's record since 2024, 6-0. Says bet on Pat Murphy games on the money line after a game with a combined score of 3 runs or less. Murphy's record is, as manager of Milwaukee, 18-5 here. I will copy and paste that, Robert Cherry. That record in WNBA is absolutely incredible. That is copied and pasted, my friend. So, I mean, what are we going to trust here? And then, I think that they're implying that Lodolo could pitch okay against the Brewers, but I'm not going to buy that. And then this total sitting here at 9.5 with no movement on the -120 to the over. Like, I just, I don't know what to do. TV Jones says Brewers money line. What we are doing. Reds had their chance yesterday. Brewers Brew Crew offense. Poo-pooing 2 days in a row. I almost didn't read that comment, Trevor. Very close to not. But look, this is a tough game. It's a very high total. The total's probably close to bang on. How long are we going to wait for either of these two pitchers to pitch to their potential? Because neither of them are doing it. I mean, what is the one thing that we should be able to bank on? Well, the Reds aren't hitting righties at all. 226.85 OBS. Look at this horrific graphic. But then Sproat just allowed a grand slam. That was his only hiccup too, but he allowed a grand slam. I think he walked two of the. I can't remember how the bases got loaded again. I was prepping, so I was listening to the game and then I started watching it when I needed the out. I screwed up, Jose. When it was 5-0, I was like, this is perfect for Sproat. I bet the live under 9.5, and then he allowed the grand slam immediately. Then I bet the under 13.5, and I was very fortunate to catch that by a half run. Mark Southgate is the move to Cincy because Ellie is back. Do we think the books did not price that in? No, I think that there's got to be some. Look, the Brewers are 21-14 on the road. They're a dynamic road baseball team. Reds 19-19 at home. I mean, it's. I think that we should respect this move. In saying that, I'm going to stay off the game right now. I don't feel like anything's. I mean, 94. I guess if anything, 94% of cash on the. Oh, we have a 10 now, 110 at DraftKings, but I think this is sharp action on the Reds, expecting Sproat to get touched up here. Rodway says this looks like God to bet the Reds. I just can't. I can't. It's like the Brewers aren't going to get to Lodolo, but then the idea is maybe the Reds get to Sproat. I'm off the spot, unfortunately. Let's roll.
I'm leaning Reds. I haven't gotten there yet. I might move soon.
Well, touch on it. Then what would be the angles to get someone like me to join you?
Yeah, I was gonna decide either first five full game. I just like the market in this game, the movement, and the allegedly 25% of the bets and 49% of the money on the Reds, getting it to move in that direction. The market seemingly respecting that action here. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out first five full game here, but I do want to move on the Reds here.
I mean, it's Reds or nothing. But
it's probably going to be a first five spot as well because the Reds bullpen's pretty tired.
Well, let's take a look at the price difference here, and maybe that will help guide you. Oh shit, where is it? Here we go. The Reds are -107 full game. Even that is a bit of a surprise. You're right.
With an exhausted bullpen.
First five, they're -111. Let's just look at this exhausted bullpen here quickly. Yeah, so Mole can't go. Santillan can't go. That's it. But it's they have a short bullpen. So it's, Petty, Burke, and Ferguson.
Names you don't feel great about.
But then if Sproat was to shove here, and look at the 20-star play today. So TJ says he will be on an under 10 if he can get -105 later. And the 20-star play today from Rod's Wacky is the under 10 in Brewers Reds. Wow. Okay. Let's roll.
All right, let's roll on here. Guardians, White Sox here. Messick versus, I was going to call him Brock Burke. Jesus, how far the mighty has fallen for my guy. It's sad to see Sean Burke be the second, most famous Sean Burke, obviously.
Isn't he pitching well right now? Don't you feel like he's pitching really well?
Yes, but I'm his biggest supporter, and I almost called him Brock Burke, so that's how the mighty have fallen there.
That's fair.
Sean. Parker Messick here, probably going to be an all-star this year. Has had a bit of a bumpy start, but I think he is a solid pitcher, and he's just another one of those
Bumpy
Cleveland
start.
Guardians.
What do you mean?
5 2/3, 5 earned runs, 5 2/3, 3 runs, 4 Ks against the Texas Rangers. Both those starts not very impressive when I have all-star in my mind for Parker Messick.
He just shut down the Brewers. Quality start,
did.
9 strikeouts. I mean, he's
He
an
did.
all-star without a doubt.
Yes, he's one of the next Guardians pitchers that just pump through this factory. Burke struggled against the Dodgers, but who wouldn't? And then before that has been pitching solid here. So I've been interested to see what the totals information would be in this game here. We have to go to, there we go, 68% of the bets and 86% of the money on the Cleveland Guardians, 81 and 87 on the over. No respect for both of these guys here. Out of curiosity, let us see where this total has moved. 7.5 is now a 7. It was 7.5 juice to the under -130. So you can call that a 7 already. And I can make the arguments with you there. Heritage 7 juice to the over is 7 -117 now. I do want to bet an under in this game. People in the chat, Jimmy, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I doubled down on unders. The first 3 under 2 last night during the show was first 3 under 2.5 was -160. When I went to bet it, it had moved 5 cents to the over. It didn't stop me. So I got the first 3 under 2 -108. I moved the very first bet I made was Cleveland Chicago White Sox under 7.5 -129. That has not moved 1 cent, not 1 cent. And that under 7.5 was -135 at the time at 365. So I'd be curious to see what it is. Oh, it's got to be the exact same right now. It's got to still be. So this total is just not moving at all. I can understand the concern with the White Sox bullpen. Oh, Dominguez got me right in the drink hole. Colin Gregory, Guardians money line is his play of the day. I will copy and paste that. We got Thomas Maggio on the Guards first 5. Trevor saying shout out to the White Sox, but no Dominguez, Hudson, or Taylor. Definitely cannot trust the White Sox today. Guardians or nothing. And White Sox money line for 9 legacy. TJ's White Sox first 5 money lines. His White Sox best arms late, all on back-to-back high pitch counts. You know, honestly, this Guardians lineup is so weak that you could bring in some AAA guys and shut them down without Ramirez in the middle of that lineup. So I'm on unders, and the full game under 7.5 I'm comfortable with, and I'm comfortable with all of this. The TJ on the Chicago White Sox first 5 is very, very interesting here. Very difficult for me to fade Parker Messick. He's such a bulldog, but be curious to see what the price difference is first 5 in full game. So let's take a look here. Burke is +101 full game and just -102 first 5. Yeah, I'm comfortable with the spot. Very comfortable. Unders again for me. I'm going right back to the well that cost me 10-0 on Medicate Monday, which, God, I wanted that badly. So I'm comfortable with it. Let's roll on, Jose. I'm on unders. If you want to join. And I think that we should open up the first 5s again. I've only bet 2, but I don't think we should be afraid to do it. I think we should just limit ourselves to like 1 a week or something like that. But let's roll.
I'm on the full game under -7 -105. Next game on our board here, we have Dodgers versus the Twins here. Twins who are allegedly trying to trade Joe Ryan again. God, he was so close to being a Boston Red Sox. But it wouldn't have mattered anyways because this is a terrible team. We'll talk about that guy in a second. I hope you saw the end of last night's game, by the way, Jimmy. Dodgers. Oh.
What happened?
8 straight hits to how do you give up 8 straight hits? That's just we'll talk about it later. Dodgers versus the Twins here. My oh my. Let's talk.
I heard people were talking about it in the chat last night, so I heard them all laughing and talking about it, but I didn't see it.
I think you would enjoy just to watch my reaction. Just think about my reaction. I think you would enjoy that. Warbleski has been solid. I like these young pitchers that are pitching in the Dodgers rotations because they are pitching for their lives every time. Every time's an audition because all these old guys are coming back from injury and they're just soaking up all these regular season innings. But 4 innings, no earned runs for Kendry Rojas in his first appearance last month here, and so he's kind of an unknown for what we're going to get. What we're going to get here today. Now, I can tell you his minor league starts. Let me pull those up real fast here. There we go. Minor league appearances, not even starts. He had one on the 18th, 1 1/3, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Not what you want there as well. So I'll be fascinated to see what he does here. He's pitched generally well in the majors this year. He's only given up 1 earned run in 2 appearances. So not a guy I want to back, especially against the big bad Dodgers. Warbleski I like, but the Twins have been pretty solid all year, Jimmy. Pretty solid all year. Right now, market in this game, we have 93% of the bets, 75% of the money on the Dodgers, 58 and 87 on the over in this game. Battle of 2 lefties, Jimmy. What do you think about this game? I'm interested to hear your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And I'll just quickly mention that this line, -172, it was a -160 at one point and got all the way up there. What do you think?
Well, the big line difference is because Joe Ryan was going to pitch. Joe Ryan's not going to pitch because there's 2 huge rain storms. One's coming in at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. This game starts 6:40 local. And then one is coming in at night. They're going to try to fit this in between while there's light rain going on. But the heavy rain before the game and then full rain after the game. So that's why Joe Ryan was moved here.
Well,
so,
I hate to interrupt you, Jimmy. Yeah. Breaking news, Mike Babcock is an Oiler now. Officially the coach.
Oh, what are they thinking? What the hell are they thinking? Well, I mean, I guess that makes the futures market very easy. How does this guy get another chance? It's just, I mean, how could Babcock go to the Oilers and Hiller go to the Leafs? This old boy network in the NHL is fucking awful. There's some new voices in this fucking room, not these fucking dinosaurs. Back to a business here. The rain is a real problem. If it's not, then I guess you could just, say that the Dodgers offer value. I don't know if this game goes. It could go. Tommy says, I got the Dodgers money line -140 last night. Says, I don't know if they ever woke up 45-cent CLV. Yeah, I mean, that, again, with an action game, meaning the pitchers aren't listed, then you scored. Because with Joe Ryan, that's the difference between Joe Ryan and Kendry Rojas. Shout out to Foxy in the house. Great to see you, Foxy. So, look, I don't know what the hell is going to go on with this game, if it will go. I think they'll try to fit it in after that massive rainstorm. It'll certainly, again, the heavy rain is in the, around 3 to 6. And then it's light rain. But there's no time where the precipitation's less than 40%. So at 4 p.m. local. So 4 p.m. local, it's 80% precipitation, heavy rain. And then at 7 p.m. local, so the game will have supposedly started then, it's light rain showers with 40% precipitation. And then we have full rain again at 10 p.m. local, 75% precipitation. So I don't know if this goes, but I guess under those circumstances, you could focus on attacking the Twins bullpen. The problem is the Dodgers bullpen's being trashed too. So then you could say, well, I'm going to focus on the Twins' weakness versus lefties. I mean, if you wanted to do that. So again, I'm off of the spot and I will, I'm just off the spot. I'd love to back Wrobleski. I think he's a monster. I think he's such a good pitcher. I think he's worth backing at all times, but I'm not going to, not with all the rain messing with this, but maybe just a simple bet would have been the Dodgers -1 here, but I'm off. Let's roll.
Arizona Diamondbacks, St. Louis Cardinals. Next game on our slate here, Eddie Rodriguez versus Kyle Leahy. And Jimmy talked about it earlier in the show, how blatant it seems like it is a Cardinal spot today. Minus 105 each way is now minus 108. St. Louis Cardinals here today. Vegas and the markets in this game, 62% of the bets, 87% of the money on the Diamondbacks here. And Jimmy, I'll tell you what, he's been sucking their own dick a lot recently. Eduardo Rodriguez got to 100 career wins, and he's been posting about it. Like, oh God, look at the throwback. Here's my first win. And he looks very skinny and young. And then now so I think they might be a little mentally off the game here, and he gets touched up here. So I agree with the Cardinals look on the market and all that stuff as well.
Oh yeah, man, it's a pretty blatant spot. Let's see if that's changed at all. So minus 105 to minus 108 here. It did get to minus one. The initial move was towards the Cardinals, which I think would surprise some. And then let's take a look at the price difference. The first 5 price difference. It was very, very interesting, and I look forward to touching on it here because 365 had minus 110 for both bets, first 5 in full game. Pinnacle had the Cardinals first 5 minus 120, a 10-cent difference, which you rarely see. Right now, the Cards are minus 110 full game, first 5 minus 118, so it's come back 2 cents here. And nice. Philly Eagle Fly just got tickets for the Home Run Derby on your birthday. That's dope, Philly Eagle Fly. That'll be fun, man.
Yeah, it's a fun event to go to.
Yeah, I've seen Jose cash on those and go live. But here, this is the way I see this. Look, Rodriguez is pitching well. He's pitching well. Now, he walked 5 batters on June 12th versus the Reds. The Reds were hitting lefties really hard. I think it's fair to say that the Cardinals are hitting lefties hard. 261, 736 OPS. Kyle Leahy is a 4.63 ERA, 1.57 whip. Very easy to say that Rodriguez, 2.45 ERA, 1.23 whip, gives the Diamondbacks an advantage. Why would there be such a price difference for Leahy first 5? And then you get to the expected ERA for Rodriguez, 4.93, and Leahy, 6.10. 9 legacy expecting runs here in this spot today. The Cardinals are hitting lefties. The Diamondbacks can't hit righties right now. I think the Diamondbacks should almost be bet, blindly against lefties. That's how they're hitting them. They're not hitting righties at all. This is, bottom 3 in the league. Can you put up the graphic? I'd like to see what they've done the last 5 or 10 games. With Diamondbacks versus righties, 219, 638 OPS over the last 30 days. And they're saying that Leahy will have no trouble shutting them down. And he's coming off a quality start at home versus the Padres. What's the difference between the Padres sticks versus righties and the Diamondback sticks? Nothing. The Cardinals also have a bullpen advantage. I just see advantages with the Cardinals here. Tommy says Diamondbacks worst offense in Major League Baseball versus righties. I don't think Cards will get to Rodriguez. I don't think they need to do much, and I think they will do enough. We talked about the Mariners first 5. I was thinking that that's the best bet, on the board. And maybe Staszowski's thought that it should have been more expensive initially and things like that. But if that's the case, then I think the Cards first 5 might be the best bet on the board. I think the Cardinals are must bet today. Absolutely must bet. When we look at the cash flow here, we have 62% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on the Cardinals. 62 and 94. I would like to say the books don't seem to care, but Circa has got to pick them here at minus 106. I mean, wouldn't that still be them not caring? So I'm waiting for it to come up, but I'm comfortable with the spot here. So I'm good here, Jose. I think Cardinals are a bet that should be made, must be made, and I made them. Double down on it. Hoping to see what this is at Circa. I was surprised to see the minus 106 each way. Here, let me just see if I can get it now. Here we go. So this opened up minus 105. It's now minus 106 for Arizona. And they've got 90% of the cash on Arizona. They don't care. Nobody cares here. So Jose's going to love that comment AM. But let's roll on. Cardinals, I think, are a must bet. Must bet. First 5, full game. There's no respect being given to Eduardo Rodriguez. No respect given to the Diamondbacks who can't hit righties. Double up for the Cardinals. Let's roll.
These Boston Red Sox versus the Colorado Rockies in the battle of the two worst teams in baseball, Jimmy. And yes, Jarren Duran is still looking for that baseball AM. 8 straight hits to end the ball game. Somehow the Rockies got out in those 8 straight hits as well, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because those 8 straight hits spanned 2 innings, which is hilarious. It's just like they got thrown at home and then another base running mistake, but they got 8 straight hits against Aroldis Chapman and Garrett Whitlock. This is going to be statistically and probably record-wise the worst Red Sox team of my lifetime, of your lifetime. This is going to be one of the worst Red Sox teams we ever see. So them being minus 170 almost is a fucking joke. It's crazy. Sean Sullivan, I get he has a 10 ERA. You know where Sean Sullivan's from?
I do.
Shawnee Sullivan kid. He's from Massachusetts, of course. He's going to shove it up the Red Sox ass, little home cooking. Anyone that pitches in from Mass against the Red Sox this year dominates. And it doesn't matter if you're Mass. You dominate anyways because it's just the Red Sox are not good this year. Their offense is not going to do anything. Continue betting unders against this team because this team is not going to hit. Shawnee Sullivan pitches well, and I don't hate anyone betting the Rockies today, and I don't hate anyone betting unders today either. So this Red Sox team is atrocious. Sonny Gray is good. I can't wait to trade Sonny Gray. I hope he fetches a great haul for a great pitcher. But I don't see it with this Red Sox offense. So under and take the Rockies. Take the goddamn Rockies. What do you think, Jimmy?
The worst Red Sox team of our lifetimes was in 2012, the year before they won the World Series.
Oh, trust me, I remember. Yeah, and this team is going to be much worse.
You have to go back to, I think, 60. Is it 62? They had 100 loss. Oh, no, 65. They lost 100 games. And then again, the curse of the Bambino years where they were losing 106, 107 games here. TJ wanting the Red Sox after that breakdown immediately.
All of you guys, Troy has said it. Troy, when I said that this team was going to be terrible offensively, he's like, let's bet the overs. Let's bet the overs. That this team fucking blows. I watch all these games. They're terrible.
Well, the main thing for me is I think Sullivan pitches well here. That was the main angle here. But the only reason why I'm saying so is because of the market. And JPZ says, why first 5 Diamondbacks bullpen is no threat? I kind of like the Diamondbacks bullpen, but Cardinals are bullpen's pitch better. I just doubled down. And I love the price difference I love the first 5 being more expensive with the gas can Leahy on the mound. I think it's just a sign. So that I like the first 5 better than the full game just because I think the Cardinals get to Rodriguez. But I get this. Nutflush says, can you please come get this clown Devers? What an ass clown Devers is, man. But let's talk about Sean Sullivan here. We assume that he's going to be very comfortable in these conditions. You know, that's the help about the AAA team being in Albuquerque is they get used to the conditions here in Colorado. And, you know, so that's the first spot. The Rockies are hitting righties extremely hard, but we should assume that Sonny Gray will be fine here. The thing that we took note of immediately when we were talking about this game last night was simply the low total. I mean, this is regular old Coors Field plus 27% runs, plus 18% homers, plus 25% doubles and triples, and plus 14% singles. So the low total was very interesting, a 10.5. We rarely see those, and which would imply that Sullivan will deliver. Red Sox versus lefties, 259, 744 OPS. Red Sox bullpen obviously struggling after those 8 straight spots, but I'm interested in this game. I just don't really know what to do with it. And I guess what you are saying, Jose, is the Red Sox are an absolute mess and should just be faded. Is that what you are saying here?
That or the under. Take the Fade the Red Sox in some form or fashion. Take the under in this game. They scored 2 runs yesterday. 5 runs in the whole game. I mean, it's just like, it doesn't matter. This team is the worst team in baseball at hitting home runs. They're not going to elevate the ball. If you don't elevate the ball at Coors Field, then go fuck yourself. Like, it's over. They're gonna score the least amount of runs at home this year. It doesn't matter in this game. They're gonna score the least amount of runs in Fenway Park for a team in Red Sox history. It's gonna be disgusting.
Trevor saying Rockies a team total of 4.5. They absolutely murder right-handed pitching with this pitch mix, and that movement doesn't translate in Coors. Mark Sasowski said, I agree with Trevor. I don't think Gray's pitch mix will work here tonight.
He's Dr. Spin, and Coors reduces the spin of the balls. Ugh.
So that would lead you away from, I think that, how do you feel about Red Sox versus lefties?
They're bad against whoever they play, Jimmy. It does not matter. They're 268 against lefties. Last 5 games, 219. And you know, the one guy that's been hitting is home run Caleb Durbin. That's the only guy in this lineup that's been hitting for anything. This team sucks. They're trash. The fact that they're minus 170 today, maybe that's the sign. Maybe the books are saying that they go out there and win. Maybe I'll be wrong today. But if you bet against this Red Sox team every game, and if you take the under in every game, you will make money.
Well, I mean, would you be more, would the first 5 plus a half be more appealing to you than a first 5 under? Rockies first 5 plus a half than the first 5 under?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
you could have said anything though. You could have said, is a dead puppy better than a first 5 under? I said yes, it is. Bad first 5 unders. I'm still out on them.
Okay, then the first 3 under. Like, do you think that Sonny Gray's going to get touched here? Because it's a very low total.
I mean, I still like Rockies first. I still like plus a half better than the unders. Because I'm worried about Sonny Gray and all of his spin, and it doesn't spin in Coors. He's Dr. Spin, that's his name.
I've been interested in this game for 24 hours almost, but I haven't moved on it yet. So I think I know what I want to do, which is back Sean Sullivan. I think the market's very telling now. I wonder if the market is just feeling the fade of the Red Sox a little too much, and that's why the line's not moving towards the Red Sox. Who would want to bet the Red Sox after what they saw yesterday? Here, Troy Thorne says, did anyone have big enough balls to bet the Pirates? One person did here, but again, you know, that 25-cent move to the Mariners, I guess 20-cent move to Mariners, I find very appealing. I think Mariners first 5 and backing Kirby after those 2 starts for Orioles is, must bet. But Mark Sasowski tempted to back the Pirates. Tough when that's a big move against for a road team. Under 500 road team. Okay, let's roll. I mean, I think that plus 113 is available in a couple books here for the Pirates, but Jose, we got to speed it up here. 26 minutes until the daily session. We can get through the one WNBA game pretty quick, but we want to hear your thoughts on the World Cup. So let's fly through this next spot here with Orioles Angels, a game that I love, that I really want to talk about, but let's roll.
Ryan Johnson versus Shane Boz here. 7 innings, 3 earned runs against the Mariners. 5 innings, 3 earned runs against the Padres. Not as good there. But Boz has been, just fine. Nothing too special this year so far. 86 and 85 on Boz. 53 and 56 on the over here versus Ryan Johnson of the Angels here. Minus 150 is now minus 140. Bovada is minus 135. So lines coming down here. Bovada opened up my fucking first 5 totals or first 5 lines. But I mean, still first 5 either way. Bovada opened minus 160 first 5. It's now minus 135 first 5. So make that note of what you will. Full game minus 150. Opener at Bet Online minus 137. Now I want to bet first 5 Angels because of that line movement. Jesus.
Ryan Johnson's going to be a monster. And what he did in that last start, his first MLB appearance since May 19th, allowing 5 runs in the first inning and then going 4 more is extremely impressive. 23-year-old, 6'6", second-round pick in 2024. This kid's going to be excellent. I really, really think he's going to be nasty. And then we have, and yeah, the optics on Kirby have changed, Troy, but I love those last 2 starts against the Orioles. We know what the Orioles have been doing. I'm backing Kirby first 5. I think it's a great bet. And I guess I'll stay off the full game with Mark in my head and now you, but I'll have to think about that. Here, though, I think Boz has been very good since those 2 Rays starts. I mean, since May 20th, Boz has been so good. 1 earned run, 1 earned run, 2 earned runs, 1 earned run, 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs. I think he's been very, very good. Shout out to BT in the house. Warbuck says this line is fishy as shit. LA plus 130. I really believe that. Now, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself with Ryan Johnson, a 23-year-old kid, but what character he showed. It's the same with Robleski. We saw Robleski show the exact same character going 8 2/3 when the Dodgers needed him to, despite allowing 7 earned runs. And what has Robleski done since that game? Being one of the most bet-on pitchers in Major League Baseball. Now, again, Ryan Johnson has to prove something here, and the 12.83 ERA and the 2.33 WHIP, 7 strikeouts and 8 walks, isn't exactly, what we are looking for. But I was very impressed with that last start. I think Boz is going to be very good. So I am on the full game under, just like I cashed yesterday. I'm going back to the well, and I'm on the first 3 under. And I thought about paying for the 3, and I decided not to. Again, TJ was in my head, and that's why I was like, look, let's either be right or wrong. Let's not be average. So I'm on the first 3 under 2.5 at plus 105. That's at 365. We know that there's other books like MGM that give better first 3 lines than 365. But again, 365 is my local, so I can use credit, and that's appealing to me. But this is just under and under. And AM says, on paper, this looks like a game that sails over. I really like those types of spots. I really like this line move towards Ryan Johnson. And I think that this line move might be so massive now. And maybe I don't want to fade Boz here, but maybe that should be bet a first 5 plus a half. Again, we don't have time to wax here. So let me just look at the price difference. Right now, the Angels are plus 123 full game. First 5 plus 113. So you can get the Angels first 5 plus a half minus 123. God, that might have to be a move here. So
I moved on first 5 plus a half, Angels minus 120. Probably should have just done money line because high total, but I'm being
no, but I'm on the under and the first 3 under. So I get, I think so. No, yes, the opening line implies volatility, but what's the cash flow? Is that cash flow going to help you? Is it all on the over?
On the over, let me double check here. 53 and 56 on the over, so not really.
I like the first 5 plus a half. I like having that half run in my pocket. It's not always necessary. I think I'm going to add that first 3 under 2.5 at plus 105, full game under 9. I got that full game under 9 at minus 116. Jose, let's roll.
All right, let's roll to Braves Padres, our next game here. We've got J.R. Ritchie, and who we have on the mound for the Padres here?
There's going to be an opener we expect for Griffin Canning. That's what we expect here at this point. Oh, God, it's Herman Marquez now. Oh, wow. Okay. Jesus, that changes things.
Well, that robs TJ of a Griffin Canning breakdown, so I hate to hear that.
They'll be coming.
To hear that. All right. Well, Herman Marquez allegedly on the bump here today. Obviously we'll see who all gets listed, but minus 110 for the Braves with opener plus Griffin Canning or Marquez. I think all those lines are pretty fishy, suspect for minus 110 for the best team in baseball here. Dodgers excluded, I guess. But the Braves have been solid. J.R. Ritchie struggled in his last appearance. I remember it very well because I have him on a fantasy team, and he disappointed me. This is back-to-back struggles for him now, so we'll see how he does here. But I'm leaning towards the Padres even without a pitcher. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a forearm injury here. I thought Marquez was going to come back last week, but I guess he needed a little bit more time. So it is, a pitching injury he was out for. TV Jones says Braves team total over. Says Herman versus left-handed bats is bad. Braves get right. So I need to study this Marquez spot. I don't want to back J.R. Ritchie. I've not liked what we've been seeing from him. He has been having good start, bad start, which of course would mean that this would be a good start. He's also being seemingly, I guess that's not quite true. He's just had a good road start last out for some Mets. I'm going to have to study this one longer, and we want to hear your takes on the World Cup. So with all that being said, I'm surprised that this is not being bet towards the over. Maybe it's just a really high total with the marine layer in effect. We have a Petco minus 7% run, not much of a marine layer. Minus 7% runs, minus 6% homers, minus 4% doubles, triples, minus 8% singles. And TJ saying 8.5 in San Diego is close to an auto under. I mean, we have two phenomenal bullpens, two teams who are, unable to hit righties. So, oh God, then you have to trust. I mean, trust Jerry. I mean, such a high total. I'm gonna need more time. I'm gonna spend some time on this game after the show. But let's roll on, Jose. We gotta make moves.
All right, we've got. And by the way, I'm going to move on the Padres minus 105. By the way, for transparency, I'm marking J.R. Ritchie on my ticket, and then action with the Padres just in case any chicanery happens, because I want to fade J.R. Ritchie. It seems. A's Giants, the Battle of the Bay, or what used to be the Battle of the Bay. A fun rivalry, or I don't know. I think it's rivalry still. Savali versus Robbie Ray, and it's hard to have worse vibes than the San Francisco Giants right now. 53% of the bets and 56% of the money on the A's. 55% of the money, 55% of the bets are on the over. 90% of the money is on the over in this game, Jimmy. I am fascinated to see. I have not seen Rafael Devers talk after his no, do not take me out of the game incident recently. I am fascinated to see because, in Boston, obviously the media would be all over him.
Poor kid, too. He was like, the kid was like looking back, like, what do I do?
Oh, Cox, yeah. And even the first base coach was like, well, what am I supposed to do here? Yeah, and then I'm sure you saw when he went into the dugout and did a swim move, like he was going around a quarterback or a lineman to avoid getting touched by their coach or whatever coach was there. Who was going to give him a pat on the back, and he was like, so that was funny. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I have no idea if the Giants are just going to be like, okay, let's eat this money and trade him. Because it's hard to build locker room culture with that guy in there apparently right now. So fascinated to see what happens. And by the way, that Alex Cora tweet, that was some messy stuff. What
was it?
He just tweeted but and then like a silence emoji, basically. Kind of, throwing Rafael Devers under the bus even more. And I'm like, fuck, man. And that was, you know what that was, Jimmy? That was on Father's Day. Alex Cora had a few cocktails. Like, let me just send this one out. Let me just get this off. I respect it. Alex Cora is a petty man. But I can't bet the Giants right now. I'd rather be on the A's, and the fact that the Giants were favored didn't really surprise me, but it was pretty cheap. And now it's up to minus 135 for Los Gigantes here. Opened up minus 120, minus 140 at Bovada. And it's pretty close to 50-50 ticket splits, and the line's been moving towards them. So respect. Maybe the Giants just need to get on the field and play some ball. And, maybe Tony Vitello is a good coach, but I don't think we're going to find out this year. And I don't know if he's going to be around next year either. So no action for me, Jimmy.
The issue with this spot is, the Athletics have been absolutely raking because they've been playing in Summerlin and at Sutter Health Park. Now they go to Oracle. This is not. It's the conditions are, this is like leaving Coors Field. So I've been looking at, and I see what Ty Clinton is saying. Look, A's match lefties. Look, 277, 917 OPS. But does that are those numbers? I mean, do you trust those numbers? Are those steroid numbers? Shout out to BJ in the house. Bruce Huncho, we have missed you, man. Best bet for BJ is the Phillies money line. Great to see you, man. Thinking about you a few days ago. We were talking about you on one of our shows, and I love seeing your max bets and best bets. Great to have BJ back in business. So I don't know what to do with this game because the righties, Giants have been destroying. A's have been destroying lefties. Savali comes off of the IL. He throws, 4 and a third inning, perfect innings, and then he gets lit up and smoked. Now he gets to pitch an Oracle, which should help him. And then we have, Robbie Ray, who's been bad all year, who looked really good in his last start. Remember, it was part of the continued game. And as Mark Southgate, is this total telling us to bet the over? I mean, that's the question we have to ask for both Oracle and Petco. We have the highest totals that we'll see at these two ballparks. And but again, let me go back again, though. I do not trust these A's numbers versus lefties. I don't trust them. Now, look, I'm not saying they struggle against lefties or anything like that. I'm just saying that the 277, 917 OPS is, come on, look where they played their last 10 games. Look at the 247, 256. I mean, that's in regular ballparks. So, and Nutflush Allen says dead under. Look at that. I think that's where I would lean. So look, I have full game over with a bunch of question marks from capping it yesterday. But then I would sit within, do I trust these numbers? And the answer is no, I don't. And then I have A's first 5, but this line is just, pretty big here. And as Jose was saying, it's moving towards the Giants. So let's just look at the money line difference. The Giants are minus 136 full game, and first 5 they're minus 149. They're saying that Ray is going to pitch well, and I don't hate on Savali like you guys do. Look, he's been bad this year though. 4.91 ERA, 1.59 WHIP, 5.53 expected ERA. He's been pitching in a tough spot. He wasn't good last year with the White Sox or the Cubs, but this is a perfect ballpark for him. Wow. You know what? I think that Nutflush thoughts on the under here could be very sharp. Huh? I have some interest in joining Mike. I think it could be a really sharp under, and then it plays into the A's leaving Coors Field. Now I know they're not leaving Coors Field, but they're leaving Summerlin and Sacramento. And the offensive weather was insane here. There's Sharpie in the house, says Alcantara a day here. We got to move on. We got to move on to WNBA. We'll be very quick here, and then we want to hear. We have 11 minutes before the daily sesh pops off. We got to be done by then. So let's just quickly touch on a couple of things here. I need more time with this. Action is in, and I have got 9 bets, excuse me. Mariners first 5 minus 122. Royals first 3 plus a half at minus 135. Philadelphia, Washington first 5 over 4.5 minus 109. That one makes me nervous. I thought we'd come here and see minus 125 by now. Cleveland, Chicago White Sox first 3 under 2 at minus 102 and under 7.5 minus 129. Cardinals first 5 in full game. I think Cardinals first 5 is my favorite bet on the board. Baltimore, LA first 3 under 2.5 plus 105. Baltimore, LA, full game under 9, minus 116. I know there's a bunch I'm close to adding. I want to study the Astros and spend some more time on these unders in Astros Toronto. I think I can get off the unders. TJ bullishness on the Astros is obviously appealing. I want to study unders in Kansas City Royals, Tampa Bay Rays. You guys know that I'm high on Avila here. Sharpie says Robbie Ray's earned runs are down from the past 5 games. He's been at 3.5 now, juiced under 2.5 for steam crushing lefties. Ray Day as well. Yeah, it's well put, Sharpie. That's a nice, very nice exclamation mark on Nutflush's thoughts there. I think we put a line through those A's numbers and say that they're steroid numbers. But and then the first 5 over 4 with Yankees Tigers. I just don't have the balls to get there. Do I add the Mariners full game? I think Mark Sasowski's thoughts on it are in my head, which is a good thing. And then I want unders in the Port Dope Alcantara start. Then I'm going to add the Nationals first 5 plus a half. I am. And then the only other stuff for me would be the addition of the Angels first 5 plus a half, I believe. And I think that is the Rockies. Rockies first 3 plus a half, Rockies first 5 plus a half. I'll decide if I want to double down what I want to do. Angels first 5 plus a half, that will not be a double down. Look, it was a very sweet monologue about Ryan Johnson, but not going to double down on that fucking kid. Just one bet is enough for me. And then I think that this look on the under is really appealing in Athletics Giants. Really appealing. And the idea of maybe moving on the Giants is tricky to do with all the cloud hanging over the team, but I think I might even be able to get there and join Dougie Wise on the Giants. So, Jose, please review your action, my friend.
Yes. Yurfie and Astros Blue Jays minus it doesn't even have the fucking ticket, the price on it. It was like minus 126, I believe.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, keep going.
Under 7 minus 105. The Cardinals minus 110. First 5 minus 115. Angels first 5 plus a half minus 120.
Nice.
Padres minus 105.
Ooh.
And the under 9 in A's Giants.
Jose opening up the toilet for this one. I like it. Let's quickly move through WNBA because we want to hear your soccer breakdowns. We have 8 minutes until the daily sesh pops off. We have basically game 1 of the 2-game playoff series between New York and Las Vegas, and game 1 means nothing. This is a week before the Commissioner's Cup final, so that makes it tricky. Right now, we have Vegas opening up minus 1.5. Now they're minus 2.5. From a total standpoint here, we had it opening up at 172. It's climbed to 177. It was a 175 last night, and I agree with that because I don't think the best. I think they're going to hide certain plays and certain defensive plans from the opponents here. I think it'll be a very kind of simple defense that will be played against each. 71% of tickets, 71% of tickets, 71% of cash on Vegas, 94% of the tickets, and 87% cash on the over, and it's clearly moving in that direction. I'd love that nut flush, my man. And then we have great stuff from cappers in the chat. Again, we talk about being game 2 specialists. I'm hesitant to make a move on this one when we have all the marble spot, but I do lean towards the Liberty coming off of 2 straight losses, not looking very good, but the Aces are a tricky team to fade here. And we had a lot of action from cappers in chat. So I'll just go over this and then we'll roll into the World Cup. Toby Lane, Liberty money line for Toby Lane. AM was on the Aces minus 2. Nate Cerna is on the over in the Aces Liberty game. He gave that to us last night. And then Rod Zwacky had some very, very great angles and trends. Says bet against any team after having won 4 of their last 5 games. A top level team winning over 75%, playing a good team that's 160, 75% of their games since 2022, 27-7. So that is Liberty. And Rod Zwacky is on the Liberty. He also says bet under the total in New York games after 2 or more consecutive losses on his record since 2025, 9-1. Now we've seen this climb 5 points. At what point do we deem it too many points? Now, I won't look to get under it at some point because I don't think they'll show their honest defenses. I think they're going to save that for the Commissioner's Cup a week from now. And Stimmy OG on the other side of us. Interesting. Okay, Stimmy, he's on the Giants A's over 8.5. That's interesting, Stimmy. Interesting. We just broke that game down and we're on. Now, maybe we can just, because we're interested in being on the other side of that, Stimmy. But I'm going to copy and paste that. Talk Sports with JT says, believe Stewart will have a good game today. Just 18 in that last game, not looking very strong. So at this point, I don't want to be involved. I should have been 1-0 last night. Tempo first quarter. If you had told me the Tempo cover that game by 7.5 points, I'd say, well, how much did they cover the first quarter? And you said, oh, they lost the first quarter by 20. I would open and slap you in the face for giving me that information. Let's move on to the World Cup. We're going to go rapid fire here. We have about a minute a game, Jose, about a minute a game. So let's roll. Game number 1 for us is at. Sorry, let me move this over here. Is at 1 p.m. Eastern, popping off in an hour and 4 minutes. Portugal, Uzbekistan. We talked about plov being the Uzbekistani traditional dish. We don't have time to discuss the flavors of plov. We don't have time to discuss Cristiano Ronaldo's no-show in game 1. Huge move towards Portugal. We've seen these powerhouses that look bad in game 1 dominate game 2, just like Spain. And here, Portugal looked terrible in game 1. The money lines moved from -400 to -680. -680, Jose. And then from a total standpoint here, we have this 3's gone up to 3.5. Now, it's some books are at a pick 'em, but BetOnline's not. It's heavily juiced to the under 3.5. Take it away, Jose.
Yep. So to make this kind of simple, a lot of third place teams in the group will make it. It's top 8. So none of these teams are in like real danger of missing out yet. But I'll say this. Portugal has to win this game. They're at 1 point right now. Colombia is at 3, and they play the Congo today, which is probably going to be a win there. So they're probably going to win the group. But if Portugal does not win this game, and they've got to go into their last game against Colombia in a must-win, that's going to be tough for them. So I think Portugal has their best game. Wins this game going away. Ronaldo will get his goal. Hopefully they take him out at some point, because I think, like Flash said, this team will be better with him not in the lineup. But over 2.5 goals for Portugal, -135, my official action.
Over 2.5 team total for Portugal for Jose. England versus Ghana, 4 p.m. Eastern. This total opened up at a 2.5, juice to the over. It is now a 3. And then on the money line, we have England opening up -297. They're now -520, steaming towards the favorites, just like Portugal. What do you think here?
Yeah, if Ghana can find a way to draw this game, it'll put Croatia in a tough spot. Croatia has to win against Panama today because they obviously lost his first game. Ghana beats Panama 3 points there. So if they win this game, if they draw this game, it's going to put Croatia in a tough spot. They do play in their last game against each other, which definitely helps them. But I'm going to stay off this game. I expect England to win, but I'd probably lean towards an over in this game. I think Ghana can score in this game.
In the third game, 7 p.m. Eastern, we have a line move slightly towards Croatia from -182 to -205. And then from a total standpoint here, Panama, Croatia, we've seen a 46-cent move to the over 2.5.
Jesus.
Had some great times in Panama, man. Take it away, Jose. Panama, Croatia.
Well, if you guys remember, I gave out, I think, 3 futures before the World Cup. It was the U.S. to win their group with me and Flash both got that. So that was cool.
Yeah, and we all joined. All of us joined, and we all got paid.
That was nice. So that was cool. And it was quick cash, so easy, too. 2 games and we're done. I was like, wow, I already got paid for that. Nice. But I also gave out Iran, I believe it was. I get Iran and Iraq confused all the time.
You gave out Iraq 0 points.
Thank you. It was Iraq 0 points and Panama 0 points.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Croatia losing to England is the best scenario for us here. They have to win this game. They cannot draw this game against Panama. I think Croatia open hand slaps them in the mouth. I don't know if I'm going to add on to my position about them losing this game, but I definitely was considering a -1.5, et cetera, expecting Croatia to slap them here. So Croatia big here.
Then Colombia, Congo. This is the one game that's moved slightly towards the under. And then, so from a 2.5 to some 2s or juice to the unders 2.5. On the money line here, Colombia, it is slightly moved against the -203 to -185 going up against the Congo. What are your thoughts here on the final spot on our show today?
All of the African teams are getting a bump up. They're all getting a bump up because all the African teams are performing well. I don't think the Congo does it here. I think Colombia probably wins. But just keeping it short and sweet. I respect all the African teams because they've all been playing really well. So another stay off game for me. My World Cup game I'm going to next week, Jimmy, is the second round game, and it's looking like it's going to be Norway versus the Ivory Coast. So that'll be a fun game. But I will be off of this game for sure.
We have Kay back in business, as back and better, been a long time. Let's make some cash. It's great to see you with us here, rocking with us. And Jose, did you say you moved on that last one?
No, I stayed off.
Can you please review your World Cup action for Tuesday, June 23rd?
It is I think it's just Portugal here over 2.5 goals here. Yep. Portugal over 2.5 goals minus 135. So a little juicy, but I expect them to roll. I expect Panama to get smacked by Croatia as well. So if you did Portugal, Croatia,
Jose, K's our guy, Bobby Boucher, by the way. So it's great to have Bobby Boucher back in business. Sorry, keep rolling.
Portugal, Croatia parlay. I don't hate either.
And that's what BJ's on. And same with Sick from the Fall. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. We got to put a bow on this. Head over to the Daily Sesh right now with our guys, Dabby Cab and Dutch Boy Fresh. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. We'd love to give a bigger outro, and thank you guys, but we are over time. So head over to the Daily Sesh. Go get that cash. Thank you for supporting us here on the Morning Bag. Great to have Jose back in action. Leche! Hey, los bookmakers. Let's milk these motherfuckers.
It's easier to sleep in the black. When you're losing your ass and feeling so, you know what to do. Tune in to Pop Sports Radio. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's a roller coaster ride, you're gonna catch a bad beat. No problem, keep your head up and just bet the spreadsheet. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. All thanks to Jeff Slaughter, these shows have our backs. POD's always rolling, especially the stats. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. We got Jimmy, Jose, Dabby and the fam. Dutch Wine Time, Spooner and OG Wham. So hit the like button, don't say that you can't. If you know what's best, just put your money on tape.